want to share something I'm incredibly passionate about. This September, I am leading an intimate first and second degree Reiki certification retreat. Those catered meals, sound baths, and beautiful home are all wonderful. That's actually not the reason I think this experience is so valuable. The real gift is what you will take home with you. After more than 30 years of practicing Reiki, I still use it every day. When someone I love is struggling, when one of my children needs support, when one of my dogs isn't feeling well, before an important conversation, meeting, presentation, event, while I'm sending a newsletter, when I need help with sleep, when I'm stressed, when I'm overwhelmed, when life simply feels like a lot, and in emergency situations. Reiki is one of the most practical tools that I've ever learned. It's like having a first aid kit that's available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And it's not just for physical well-being, it's for emotional, energetic, and spiritual support as well. And the beautiful thing about Reiki is that it doesn't drain you when you use it. It actually replenishes you simultaneously while you're giving it. So for caretakers, parents, coaches, therapists, healthcare providers, yoga teachers, massage therapists, hairstylists, leaders, anyone who spends their life supporting other people, Reiki is one of the most valuable skills you can learn. It's something you can use with your family, your pets, your friends, your clients, your community, in hospitals, during major life transitions, at the beginning of life, at the end of life, in moments of crisis, and in ordinary, everyday moments that simply need more care. You will learn both hands-on and distance Reiki, professional protocols, energetic boundaries, safety practices, and everything you need to confidently integrate Reiki into your life and, if you choose, your work as well. Most certifications teach you how to perform Reiki, but what we teach you is how to live with Reiki. Because once you have it, it's yours for the rest of your life. If that speaks to you, I would love to have you join us. You can find all the details in the show notes. This is a women's retreat. Reach out if you have questions. Looking forward to talking with you soon.
I feel like letting it be easy, although it's not easy. Feeling our feelings isn't always letting it be easier, is letting the actual emotions come through, like being honest enough with myself to know how I'm actually feeling. I was a people pleaser for years. I didn't even know how I was actually feeling.
Hey, friend. Lately, I've been wondering if one of the bravest things we can do is stop pretending we're okay when we're not. I don't mean collapsing into the hard stuff or staying stuck there. I mean allowing ourselves to tell the truth about where we are without rushing to fix it, explain it, or wrap it up with a neat little lesson. And that's exactly what happened in this conversation. Most of the time, we began with an hour of breathwork, infused with Reiki, and by the time we started recording, something had definitely softened. The mask had come off. What followed was one of the most honest conversations I've had the privilege of standing in. We talked about grief, parenting, divorce, caregiving, relationships, purpose, self-trust, and what it really means to let life be easier. Every woman brought something different, yet we kept discovering ourselves in each other's stories. There were moments, we were laughing moments that brought tears to our eyes. And more than once, I found myself thinking, this is why we gather. And I am so grateful you're here. Let's give ourselves a deep breath here together, soften, and let's drop in. Welcome to The Authentic Creative, where we expand our capacity to feel good, one deep breath, one bold choice, and maybe a little bit of magic at a time. I'm Siri Baruch Thornton, healer, creative, and lifelong explorer of all things energy, self-expression, and joy. With over 26 years of experience in Reiki, Akashic Records, and transformational breathwork, I've learned that feeling good is not a luxury, it's a practice. And sometimes it's a little messy. This podcast is here to help you trust your intuition, break the rules, the ones that need breaking, and live more fully in your gifts. So give yourself a deep breath, get cozy, and let's dive in. This is still sacred share time. So I'm going to read you this poem. Okay, here we go. So let it be easier. There comes a season when the river grows tired of pretending it is a machine,
tired of pushing itself toward the ocean, tired of believing its worth is measured by the speed of its arrival. So it remembers the way water knows, the way wild geese know, the way roots know beneath the dark soil. The earth was never asking for more effort, only presence, only trust, only the willingness to follow what is true. And perhaps that is the invitation to loosen the grip, to soften the jaw, to unclench the fist around the future, to stop carrying what was never ours alone, to let the current carry what the current can carry, to let the body remember what the body already knows, to let life meet us halfway. And when we forget, as humans do, may we find our way back to the quiet wisdom that flowers do not force, oceans do not strive, and the sun has never once worried about rising. Still, everything blooms. Still, everything arrives. Still, we belong. So, feel free to share anything about your body's experience, your soul's experience, where you're at. What was that like for you? I truly want to know.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and kick us off. Siri, thank you. Thank you for bringing us together. Thank you for facilitating this breathwork experience for all of us. It was very cathartic. And it's funny because I was thinking back to when we were all together in Mount Hood, and Anna was sitting next to me, and it was such a release. And I found myself in such a lighter space this time than that moment. That was a very deep and moving experience at that moment when we were all together, and I wasn't expecting it. This time, it was interesting. I was allowing myself to just be light with it.
Mm,
And I found myself really enjoying just allowing my body to relax, allowing my body to move as it wanted to. There were
yeah.
times I really wanted to wriggle my toes and just kind of allow it to do what it wanted to, versus that earlier moment and experience of breathwork with you was very deep. We were in a very deep space where there was a lot of release of emotion for a lot of us after a couple of days together. This felt like a wonderfully light, warm hug. What a beautiful way to kick it off. So
Mm.
thank you.
Oh my gosh. I love that you're showing us and our listeners that it doesn't have to be the same every time, that we can let go of our expectations, that we can let it be what it's going to be, and next time it'll be completely different, and that it's all valuable, and that it's all meaningful, and that it meets us, the breathwork and the Reiki and our determination meets us exactly, our team of masters, teachers, loved ones, guides, angels, God, whatever we're working with, meets us exactly as we are, where we are in any given moment. I remember you were going through a major transition,
Yeah.
and you've grown so much since then.
To use your words, Michelle, it was quite the gentle hug today, which is exactly what I needed. I know breathwork can sometimes be quite the work, but today it really met me where I was. And thank you, Siri, truly, because what an amazing way to start the day and what a great way to connect with all of you. It was perfect, as it always is.
Yes, I love it. Amanda.
Thank you so much. Holy moly. So it was a warm hug for me until like the last 5 minutes, and then it was intense. I was like, there was one point when you were like, okay, this is it. Let's go. And it just all came out. It felt like there was a yarn that was threaded through one ear around my brain to the other one that was hot. My ears got hot. And the inside of my head got really hot just the last couple minutes. And then this always happens to me with your breath work. I started crying at the end. I don't know why. It just always, always, always happens.
Yep.
And my shoulders started tingling. I wonder if it was the thing you mentioned at the beginning.
Tetany, yes.
Yeah, I think that was it. And it's the first time I've experienced that where it just felt tingly and tight and then hot. I felt so much heat, even though the breath itself was cool coming in and out. It was really interesting. I have not had this experience yet with your breath work until today, and it was very cool. And I feel light as a feather. All of a sudden, the words like, oh, it's not hard. Like, what's hard about this? Nothing's hard. Like, got this. Like, I know. I'm like so excited to go out today and finish the rest of my day with that mindset.
I love that feeling.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I think you were feeling the Reiki energy when you
Some-
had that heat.
I could see it. I could feel it and see it. It was like a thread or a yarn or a beautiful ribbon or something was like threaded through inside and then out the other side. And it
So
just,
cool.
it was very cool. Yeah.
Oh, I love it. And I love that I genuinely love you guys having privacy with your breathwork or being on camera. But Amanda was on camera, and so I could see her arms sometimes. I could see her dancing, and it was just fun. It was fun to see your process, and it's such an honor to get to witness your process. And I love you.
I'm always like, does it work virtually? Right. And I think that there's a time and a place for all of it. And Michelle, I remember you were on my way. We were in a room together, woods everywhere. I live in Texas, so there's always sunshine and sky. And it was the opposite of that, right? Siri, where we were.
Yeah.
And it was so perfect to be in my home doing that. It completely works virtually. In some ways, I prefer it in person. In other ways, I prefer it at home. They're both great because then when people start screaming and all of that, and I'm not feeling it, you can get in your head about it. So it was really great because the whole time I was like, I don't really know if I'm doing this right. And I was like, oh, there I go again, wondering if there I go, and so it was the watching part. That's what was so fun about this experience this time. We both have puppies. This puppy has never experienced breath work like that. So it was like,
what was the puppy doing?
I'm laying on the ground and the puppy's like, oh, we're wrestling. Great.
Okay.
The other one knows breath work. So he comes and snuggles under my armpit and curls up. He's like, oh, this was where we make sure she's okay. And I didn't effort at any of it. And I was like, oh, this is happening. And it really felt like that witness place that I am always trying to get to.
Yeah.
And because of the space that you created for all of us, it just was. And what do you know? The dogs are fast asleep and now we can have this. And thank you.
Anna, I love that you spoke to the difference between online and in person because it's so true that there's pros and cons to both. And I love the fact that we can have a completely, vastly different experience, not only with each session, depending on where we are, but depending on who we're with and the soul collective of what's going on in the collective. Yeah. And then, so of course, always fascinating what the animals do and what the environment does, and then how it settles itself out. I have a funny story to tell you later about the sound bath I did the other night.
Yeah.
It was like, oh my gosh, but I won't tell you now. Cora? Yeah.
Yeah, I'll share. And Anna, I'm in Austin, Texas. So I love that. And I heard one of the songs.
I'm literally driving there next. Right after this, I'm heading to Austin. Let's
goodness.
Chat and message.
Yeah. I'd love that.
Okay,
awesome. Wow. Well, that was a unique experience for me when it comes to breath work, and amazing. Thank you. It was really fun and playful. A lot of it was fun and playful. And I had quite a few thoughts coming in and out. My brain was relatively active and it was no big thing. Sometimes I get mad at myself or I've been like, oh, my brain, it's so many thoughts, like I'm doing it wrong. I so get that. I felt more loving with myself and gentle with myself than in the past, which feels like progress. In the primal sounds, I didn't feel a lot of anger, or I didn't feel that. But when you said do it for the collective, I was like, oh, give me that pillow. My 3-year-old son and the babysitter are right outside. I let out this rage and growling, and I was doing it for the women. That's just how it
Yes.
felt.
Yeah.
And then I thought I was going to feel so much rage towards men, like you men, my partner being a jerk, or like what. And I didn't. And I actually felt love and compassion for men.
Hmm.
And I felt this, like, I felt anger and rage at society. I felt it at abuse. I felt it at the generations of wounding that hasn't been addressed. But with men, I just felt this love. And so that was a profound moment for me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you so much, Cora.
Oh, you're
Oh my
welcome.
gosh, I love that. I feel changed just hearing you
Mm.
share that. I feel like you're representing this Mama Earth kind of collective, soulful energy existence when you share that. You're like, "Oh, this is what's possible."
Mhm. Yeah, and it was so beyond the logical, rational mind. It wasn't me going, I should have compassion and
Right.
understanding for men, because that's the whole other thing. This was like,
Yeah.
oh, I feel it, and
Yeah.
I'm trying to be mad, and I'm not tapping into that.
Oh, I love it so much. Ugh. Thank you, Cora.
You're
Mm.
welcome.
And bless the babysitter for doing her work. Thank you for setting that up.
She's a new babysitter and she's awesome. So,
Great.
yay.
What a blessing. Claudia.
I have been practicing a lot of breath work lately. I found a new love relationship with it. I didn't really understood the breath work for many years. It was like, okay, yeah, I'm breathing. What's the big deal? Um, you know, but combine it a little bit with swamping
Mm-hmm.
for the rage part.
Mm-hmm.
I think that for women, we reject the rage a little bit. It's like, it's not a good thing to have rage. We're girls. But when you embrace it, it doesn't mean you're angry. It means that you have emotions that are sitting inside of you that need to be released.
Claudia, can you share what the swamping is for you?
I do swamping with an industrial garbage bag because for me, it was always very hard to acknowledge rage. It was a bad thing.
Yeah.
So I discovered that if I fight something, my rage comes to the surface. So
Okay.
I get an industrial black garbage bag and make a hole and put
Mm-hmm.
it like a poncho with no arms. And then I
Mm-hmm.
start putting loud music and I start fighting that back. And that back is going to give me that resistance. So then my body start fighting it. And then one thing leads to another one. And then I start crying and I start releasing all those emotions that are trapped inside of me that to an extent I hold in because I'm afraid, in quotes, to damage somebody. Like if
Mm-hmm.
I let my rage out, I might punch my husband down and knock him down.
Yeah.
Because I mean, we all in the right circumstances have all that inside of us, right? I
Yep.
mean, we see people lifting cars
Yeah.
because that is the power that you have inside. So for many years, I was like, no, no, we're not going there because we don't want to hurt anyone. And when I started this swamping, which I don't do it every week, or I don't like routines. I get bored. So I
Yeah.
do things
Yeah.
when I feel like doing them.
Yeah.
And I've started to do this and like Cora, if I have to scream, I grab a pillow and then I will scream. I do that when I'm home alone. Another way that I release rage is I will get in my car, I will put the volume super loud, and I will scream from my lungs. And there's
Yeah.
nobody there. But
Yeah.
that release is, oh my gosh. And sometimes I have to pull over because I start crying,
Yeah.
because I'm giving myself permission to feel those feelings.
Yes. Yeah. Perfect.
But breathwork is my friend now. It's something that I embrace when I need it, and it regulates me. When you were like, whoa, it's like, oh man, I gotta swamp a little bit here. This is good.
Awesome. Oh my gosh. Thank you for fully embracing it, dropping in.
I want to say one thing about what Cora said about men, and I'm writing an article about this. Men are not taught to be men. Men are taught not to be women. And I think that's a disconnect. They don't go to the little boy and say, you're allowed to be vulnerable. You're allowed to be in your feminine energy. You're allowed to feel your feelings. They go to the little boy and say, women cry, you don't cry.
Yeah.
They are not taught to be men. They're taught not to be women. The majority of time, that's the problem with adult men, that they don't know how to be men. They just know how not to be women.
That's really insightful. Claudia, I'm going to come back to you. I'm going to read everyone's bio and then we'll all go around and share about our theme, which is letting it be easier. So, what that means to each of you, and I know you've had some time to kind of be with that. And then you don't have to, as I said, prepare anything. You don't need to worry about what comes out. It's really just an excuse, honestly, these themes to just drop into what is your personal human journey in this moment, because that's what people are going to connect to. And so I want to just share with our listeners who each of you are in just a little snapshot. Obviously, this isn't the totality of who you are. This is just a little bit. But Amanda Folkstead is a Portland-based realtor and home stager who helps people sell through story, design, and purpose. As the founder of House Dressing PDX, Amanda brings warmth, creativity, and emotion to every home she touches. Known online as Portland Pink, she shares her love of color, community, and authentic living. Michelle Rios is a sought-after speaker, soon-to-be author, and host of the top-ranked Live Your Extraordinary Life podcast. From humble beginnings as the daughter of teenage parents in rural America, she rose to become a respected business leader and soulful entrepreneur. Today, she inspires others to live with authenticity and step into their most extraordinary lives. Dana Shallett is a multi-passionate entrepreneur, author, and founder. Her work resides at the intersection of philanthropy and the philosophy of conscious living. Anna K. Morris is a clarity and confidence coach deeply invested in people living a life they love. Anna teaches journaling, mindset shifting, and self-care as a way to truly know and have what you want. Her podcast, Have It All with Anna K. Morris, is a show that questions the current ideals women and society feel about having it all. Cora Paj is an embodied awakening and integration coach who helps spiritually sensitive humans turn towards what they've been avoiding, love the parts they've rejected, and live from their authentic truth with clarity, peace, and self-trust. Claudia Noriega Bernstein is an inner abundance coach, best-selling author, and host of the Don't Shrink to Fit podcast, who empowers people to step fully into who they are and create lives of greater joy and abundance. Robin Cohen holds a BFA from the Juilliard School and an MFA from the Shakespeare Theater Company in DC. She's been acting professionally for 33 years in theater, film, and television, opposite such artists as Bill Murray, Kate Blanchett, and Jeff Goldblum. She's been training actors for 20 years and is the founder of the Cohen Acting Studio, where she coaches artists and public speakers across all mediums. Robin is the happy host of Thriving Artists, the Daily Joyride with Robin Cohen podcast. Let's come back to that expansive, soulful place that we were all in when we finished breathwork. Let's let go of all those labels and roles and expectations and ideas about what we have to teach or learn. Just dropping into the belly. Amanda, I'm curious, in terms of this theme of letting it be easier, what in this moment in time, in this phase, this chapter, feels like it's hard and you're learning how to let it be easier? What is that experience?
All of it feels very hard. I'm a single part-time mom, and that at times has a lot of challenges, working for myself, running two businesses, and on top of that, trying to date and have any kind of personal life is insane sometimes. And I think for the first time ever, maybe today at the end of that session, I just said to myself, girl, let it be easy. Like, stop. Like, I make it hard. I am extremely hard on myself. And I think that I carry a lot because I don't want everybody else to carry it. And I say yes to everything, even though sometimes the answer needs to be no, and that's fine and complete and whole in itself. And I think it could all be easier. I
Yeah.
really do. Yeah.
I do want to say that you said part-time mom, but you're a full-time mom even when your kids aren't with you.
Yeah. Thank you for saying that. It's not anything I thought that I would ever experience when I became a mother. And 5 years ago, we separated and we now have two houses, and it's been going on for 5 years. And I keep telling myself, like, when is this going to get easier? When is this
Mm-hmm.
going to get better?
Mm-hmm.
And I dropped my kids off on Tuesday night at their dad's, and he has a new partner, and she's great. That's all fine. But I left there and I was like, oh, this is still so hard watching my children go into this other life, essentially, that they have that I'm not involved in. And yeah, it's a lot. And I just stay busy. I distract myself with all kinds of things to not think about it. And then these moments of stillness, meditation, breath work are when it comes up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I'm so grateful that I have a co-parent that is a good dad and wants to be involved. But I'm also so sad from all of it. And
Mm-hmm.
I wish it had been different.
Yeah.
And I've just been running away from it for years.
Mm-hmm.
And that looks like working all the time or being busy all the time or dating all the wrong people, which, let me tell you, does not fix it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I would not recommend. So I've been just taking this really long break from
Yeah.
that. For me, it's been a while. And
Yeah.
just trying to feel it all and move through it. And this kind of stuff really helps. I really do think that it's going to get better.
The thing is, Amanda, it is going to get better, first of all. I know that it is. And second of all, you're speaking the voice of millions of women. So thank you.
Yeah.
Because it's really courageous and it's really important for them to feel seen.
Mm.
Because unfortunately, or fortunately, I don't know, it is the norm for this situation to be what so many of us are in. Or maybe it looks a little different from what you described, but there's a lot of similarities. And I see everyone feeling into, because I think everyone knows the experience of that feeling of something being outside of ourselves and not being a part of it. That not feeling like this thing over here is in my life. I feel like that's really primal to all of us. And I really admire, and I'm not trying to make it better or invalidate your experience, but I really admire how consistent you are in the way that you go out into the world and connect with people and show up, like show up, show up, show up, show up. I don't think letting it be easier is about showing up less. I think it's just acknowledging what you're wanting to do and being fully there when you're there. And I think that's already what you're doing. It's just really brave how vulnerably you share. I'm very appreciative because I know that you healed not only something in yourself by sharing the parts of ourselves that feel tender in this safe circle, that heals you, but we and the listeners simultaneously get to heal together as a collective, get to heal through that experience. I know you know that, and that's why you shared. So thank you. Thank you. I feel like we learn so much from us sharing. Here's what's hard, and it doesn't feel like it's getting easier, and I'm trying, and this is where I'm at. We learn so much from that. So, yeah. Okay. Anna, I see your face, and something's bubbling.
Amanda, I can't even imagine. I have a 4 and a 6-year-old little boys, and all I want is for them to leave. And take my husband with them. So thank you, because I really needed to hear that, because it's a different perspective. And I actually don't want that. Now, I wanted it during this podcast, right? Because I was like, you can't be here. And Derek was like, no, but we'll be. I was like, you're never quiet. You have to
So true.
leave. I mean, you know, Michelle, Siri, like, you know, there's nothing quiet about this home experience. So from 11 to 2, right? I was like, that's it. And he was like, no, but I was like, no buts. We're in a really hard season as a family. And I don't want to say questioning, but sometimes I think it would be better if I were just alone. And I know that that's the reaction to not being refilled, right? So thank you for starting us out with that breath work. I typically would not have shown up for that part. And instead I did. And I had my first specifically a grief therapy session yesterday. So I feel really cracked open. And I'm just recognizing that what's not feeling easy, right, on the topic of let it be easier, is my kids are really having a hard time right now. My mom passed away.
Yeah.
We lived next door and she taught at their school. And I'm like, we should be better, right? It's been 6 months, but it feels like it's getting worse. And I can see that I think that my 6-year-old has a lot of rage, and I do too. And we both don't really know how to be with it. And the more I'm trying to manage it and not like feel it myself, it's just not working. Amanda, that was really helpful because I really do want to be a part of all of it. But I am drowning. So how do I possibly help them? And for how long? It's like that constant question of like, well, how long is this going to go? Because now my dad is dying.
Yeah.
And like, okay, here we go again. The saying goes that you can't catch a break, right? Mm-hmm. And then when I think about that statement, I'm like, does that just imply that life is just really hard and it's only an accident? But and we like catch a break, right? It's an acting term, right? Robin, I'd love to have you weigh in on that. Like, or like break a leg. Like where does that like actually root work? Like what is all of this to my actors, Siri and Robin? Super fucked up, right? So we're gonna go and encourage somebody to break a leg or have a break. I'm just now hating the word break. And knowing that this is it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the only way I can do it, the only way I have a shot in fucking hell is if I know how to do it for myself.
Thank you for saying that. Yes, that's right.
Because what's actually going on with my 6-year-old is that I think he's hungry. So stupid. And it hit me this morning right after they left because he doesn't like anything.
Yeah.
And so he's not getting nourished. And guess who also doesn't want to eat? The only reason I eat right now is because Derek puts food in front of me. Otherwise, I wouldn't do it. It's just the thing that like I can't. I'm having a hard time with. My mom was a chef.
Yeah, your mom was such an integral part of your lives. She was always there, of course.
Yeah, so like I don't want to eat food or be in the kitchen. I want to make for other people, but I'm not interested. Yeah. And I think it's causing my kids to suffer. And I'm sorry, I'm like on a podcast unloading, like I'm in a therapy session, guys. Like,
and like I said with Amanda, the listeners are healing with you right now, just as we are healing with you right now, because there's nothing more interesting. There's nothing more interesting. There's nothing more healing. There's nothing more powerful than how authentic and transparent you guys are being. I mean, that's it. You're cracking our hearts open. We're healing right here with every word you're sharing.
Thank you.
What could be more important?
Well, the hardest thing in my life right now is probably parent. I could give you a list, but let's just
Yeah. Yeah, right.
parenting, right? You have
Yeah.
2 boys, so you're a few years ahead of me with the age, and
Yeah,
Michelle.
I mean, you're in the weeds. You
So,
are
but
in
Jack
it.
just looked at me and he was like, "I hate my brother. I wish I never had a brother. I hate him."
Yeah,
And I
totally.
was like, "But here's the thing. I also have felt that way about my sister." And so as I'm listening to him, it's like that mirror looking back.
Right.
And as I'm going through this experience with my parents passing away, it's been really hard. And I would always choose to do it with her.
Yeah. That karma, those relationships, they're like
Right.
everything, right? The
Oof.
people closest to us. It's like, what kind of lifetimes have we had with them where maybe you killed each other? I don't know, because it's all so potent. Oh, Anna, I love you so much. I know this doesn't like, but I just side note, you just look so nourished. You look so fresh. You look so
Oh,
beautiful. I honestly have never seen you more beautiful.
thank you.
Truly, I'm not just blowing smoke.
Yeah. No, I know. I know you're not. I don't have friends that do that.
Yes.
Lipstick. It's amazing what that will do.
No, no,
And
no.
breath work, right?
Just say thank you.
Thank you.
Michelle, what's going on in terms of letting it be easier for you? You've had a lifetime of striving so hard, and I know you help your clients with reorienting. We learn the most from your human experience. I know you just had your son graduate. I mean, I am not looking forward to that.
Yeah, it's not easy. Claudia knows her girls are grown and flown for the most part. Mine's we just finished his freshman year of college. But I just want to kind of go back because
Yeah.
Amanda, what you said, even though I'm married, I've been married for 22 years this summer. My brother's going through a very difficult divorce. My father is dying. My father-in-law is dying. My husband's been in and out of the hospital with stuff going on this spring. There's been a lot of stuff that has been very grounding. And the thing I keep coming back to, and why I think what you said to kick us off was so resonating, is these are such universal themes: love and loss and grief. Thank you for sharing and touching our hearts and allowing us all to be very open and vulnerable. One of the most difficult seasons of my life is watching my father-in-law, who's 89, who's like my dad, die, and be by his side is being present for it, witnessing it. All he wants is company. And I would say probably very similar to you, Amanda, my brother, who's very strong and doesn't want to admit how much it's killing him to have to drop his kids off in the middle of the week. All he wants is someone to say it's going to be okay, because it's not been okay for a really long time. So in the midst of all of the stuff, what I keep coming back to is remembering that we are these souls on a human journey, that this stuff that's all happening to us are really ways to bring us back to what's most important, which is to learn to love in every season, even when it's hard, what's in front of us, and to be very present where our feet are, which I think is really hard for most of us. Really hard for me, sitting in a room in an ICU unit with my father-in-law, holding his hand while he is literally dying and thinking, but I have all these things to do and I feel guilty for not doing them, and guilty for thinking about them, and guilty for wanting them, and guilty for not being present in my thoughts in this moment, because it hurts too much to be present, to feel the grief of watching this man slip away. And then getting on a plane to go be with my father, to go sit with my brother. And the one common thing among it, I would say this has probably not been the easiest professional season of my life. Funny enough, it's been the most lucrative in a really long time. I've been very quiet. It's been a very humbling season personally. And in that, allowing my energy to flow to the people who need me the most, I've decided very consciously to consume a little less, to create a little less, and to allow what's happening to unfold. And so for me, the letting it be easy. So yesterday our son was injured while at work and we all ran to his side. He's fine. He injured his back. But most my husband and I caught each other at the end of the day, like two strangers passing in the night, and just kind of clung to each other. And I said, "It's a lot right now, isn't it?" And he said, "Yeah, it's a lot. And I'm really glad you're here." And that's enough to sustain me for a little bit. But I just want you to know, like all of you, whatever is happening, the themes are so universal. They're likely, like all of us on this call are going through some aspect of what you're feeling. And so I think that the desire to connect and to allow whatever is present to be something you share is so helpful for all of us to just remember our collective humanity and the fact that the reality is this is probably not going to be an easy journey, right? It's all the ups and downs of being human. And at the end of the day, allowing us to feel what we feel, even on those really rotten days, is what we have to do.
Yeah. So, so well spoken.
But it is extraordinary. I think that that's the thing. There's a lot of ugliness that's kind of unfolding in front of me and a lot of beauty on the other. Like, it's like you see it, right? I know all of you that are going through relationships that have dissolved and people that are transitioned or transitioning. There's a lot of ugliness in that and there's beauty in it. And it's hard. One day you feel it and there's a little bit of glimmer, and the next day you're pulled by the undertow, right? I feel it right alongside you. And I just, again, reminded that we are witnessing each other on these human journeys. And that's a really extraordinary thing to be able to do. And I'm grateful that you're letting us all in and sending you all love.
Michelle, thank you so much for sharing that. Gosh, I'm just blown away by each of you. I'm just blown away by your wisdom and your grace and your levity and your honesty. Thank you. So letting it be easier, like Michelle said, it's not necessarily going to be easy, but what are the ways in which we are starting to or practicing getting out of our own way or having a little more neutrality or finding that grace within ourselves or finding moments of those glimmers? Yeah.
Speak to this. Yeah, I'll speak to this. Thank you. Thank you. To the Disney movie, Frozen, let it go, let it go. Right? Okay. Because knowing that we were going to be meeting together, letting it be easy for me is reframe, which is something we're all familiar with in this world of helping others to see the world differently, even if just for a moment, which is the miracle. So in this breath work that you offer, I was thinking about tropes. We've been talking about tropes today, things that are in the world that we hear. We hear letting go is hard to do. So I started thinking about the Disney musical Frozen. Well, what if it wasn't? What if letting go was as easy as taking a breath? I've just gotten back from Capitol Hill, where I was performing in a production where I was representing one of the Jeffrey Epstein victims. We were at the nation's capital in a play that was a compilation of actual victim testimony by these girls that have never had any reparation or any justice brought to them to this day. This is a memorial site for them. It's an installation piece. It is a place where people can come and see the 3.5 million pages of transcript by victims that has never been released. I was part of a troupe that was presenting a reading of a play where we were playing the victims. And it's through knowing people like you, Siri, and everyone else in this room that I have the tools that even after that reading, where I was meeting actual victims of Epstein, meeting them, shaking their hand, hugging them, holding them. How do you transition back into your life after that? This morning, I was on the internet and saw something, an ex of mine, and something related to something that shot a knife in my heart and related to this wound that some of us have been talking about today, the wound that is about the generations of trauma inflicted upon women by men in particular. And a lot of the plays that I'm doing right now and touring right now, that's at the Heart Center to try to make things a little better in that area. And this morning I saw this thing on the internet with someone I knew, and I thought about this podcast and about being with all of you. And I thought, what if letting this go was as easy as taking a breath? What if letting this go about this thing that I just seen related to all of this that I'm digging into right now, sexual and physical violence against women, what if letting this go was as easy as taking a breath? And so I thought of you, Siri, and the work that you facilitate and the women that were going to be in this room today. And I tried it and I said, yeah. And then I started singing the musical, my Elsa, let it go, let it go. And in not too long of a time, and this has never happened, this person and this particular trigger has always taken time. But within about a half an hour, I was totally free of it. And it was remarkable to me that in my mind, what was there first is letting go is hard to do because it's something I've heard forever, whether it was because they hurt me, they abused me, or someone that I knew and someone that I loved. Letting go has always been hard to do. I was like, what if it was easy?
Yeah.
What if letting it be easy was about just letting it go? What if letting it be easy was actually as easy as taking a breath in and letting go of that control, tension, rage, on the exhale? And so I've just been sitting in that and just knocked back by the women in this room and your hearts. I'm like holding them. I just feel so connected to all of you. And I just want the world to somehow become a reflection of rooms like this. If the world could somehow tap into what is happening here. I've never heard such beauty, such depth, such power, such grace, such honesty. You don't hear it. It takes my breath away. Thank God we have you, Siri, to give us back our breath and to continue to stand for women like this and people like this, a life like this that works for everyone with no one left behind. Thanks, Siri.
Oh, Robin. The work you do is so incredible. I love that you take acting and you use it as a tool to transform the world on such an important and deep and meaningful level. It's in service that your creativity and your truth and your training for all these years is in service to one of the greatest things it could be in service to is the healing of women.
We're going to present one of these plays at a conference, and the conference is 51 years into helping to end the legacy of domestic violence in this country. And this organization, 51 years ago, God bless them, was started by men. So the conference where we're presenting this play, What the Constitution Means to Me, next month, was founded by, doesn't that just blow your hair back?
I love
that it was
it.
founded by men that are like, hey guys, no, really, let's do better.
Yeah.
Let's do better. Let's see how we can rehabilitate men. What you said earlier about how men are taught not how to be men, but how to not be women. Oh my God. If I may, can I bring that to the conference? They're giving workshops and I will credit you 1000%. I just think that is so at the heart center of what they're trying to get out there. So thank you. Thank you for this opportunity.
Wow.
Oh my God.
Wow. I agree with you, Robin. If we could, and there are spaces like we're creating today in so many places. Like you see this
so
more
special.
and more and more. You see
Where?
women gathering, and I know Dana and Cora and all of you create these gatherings just like we're doing now. You all create this.
But that it's only once a month.
We need tribe. And this is why I do this, is because we need tribe.
Yeah.
We need this. It's our medicine. It's my medicine.
Yeah. Just want to meet you on a mountaintop and howl at the moon with all of you gorgeous women. Okay, thanks, Sarah. Thanks.
Well, I'm going to take that nugget of wisdom of what if letting go could be as easy as taking a breath, and I'm going to integrate that this whole next month until our next panel, because that's brilliant. Brilliant.
Thanks. You started it, so thank you.
Dana, please share with us the wisdom from Costa Rica. No pressure.
Yeah, exactly. Gosh, so much is coming up for me as I hear you beautiful women share. So thank you. That courage of vulnerability. And I can say I'm a childless, unmarried woman. What I love about this vulnerability is that so many times in the society that's looked at a certain kind of way, like there's something missing out there for me because I didn't get to walk that path. And it was never not that it wasn't my choice, it just wasn't my path. It's not how I thought it would go, and it's just how it went. So I would say that when I hear you guys talk in such vulnerability, it says to me that two things can be true, that it can expand your heart in such a big way to have this deep love, even if it didn't go the way you thought it would, Amanda, or you could have these children that are your whole world, Anna, and still have moments where you're like, God, I could really have it be that they left the house right now with my husband as much as I love them. And then grief as a human experience in general, how it connects us all. And it really is the predictor of the depth of our love. When I heard you guys all speak about this deep, deep grief, mine was different. It was a different path of grief. It's been a few years since I sort of hit that rock bottom, that dark night of the soul, as they call it, when I had a few people in my life die at the same time and my business change and my friends leave and change countries, and all these things happen within a really small period of time. And I had no idea who I was or how I could keep going or if this would ever end. I actually got the tattoo on my arm, "This too shall pass." And it was just like, please, please have that be true in that moment. 6 years later, in this season of my life, it is true. And things are flowing in ways I could have never imagined. And I do have a deeper sense of peace this moment. And I know that this too shall pass. And that I hope that when the tide turns, which I'm sure it will, like it does for all of us, because this is life and this is the earth school we get to be a part of, that I will remember the lessons and have women that have gone through it sort of hold me up in those moments. That is what I know can be true when we gather like this. When I think about this conversation about letting go, and which to me is forgiveness, letting go that the past should be anyway, or that anything should go a certain way. And it's like your hands are off the wheel and you're just like, please, please, like, let this happen. When I really integrate that, the thing that comes up for me the most is a famous Course in Miracles quote. And it says, "There's no problem that faith cannot fix." And so that is what I will hold on to. And when I hear you guys speak, that's what I feel is my heart, even when you're in the depths of your despair, wherever you are on the journey, I have hope for you, which gives me hope for me, bottom line. And faith is that string. So gosh, so much gratitude to be in this conversation together, to feel your heart, to cry with you, to learn from each of you. What a gift. What a gift. I wrote a book and it's coming out in August, and I'm doing a newsletter build up. I haven't been on social a lot in the last few years, but right now I'm being very consistent. And today I released a newsletter about self-trust, which is the second chapter of my book. And I just feel like, gosh, it's so aligned. Of course, that was today. Of course, we get to be in this conversation. So thanks for the opportunity to share and to connect. I'm lighter and I'm feeling more deeply, more than anything. So thank you.
Oh, Dana, share with us, if you would, just snippet about your volunteer work. Okay.
I have a nation and I have an organization here in Costa Rica as well. After almost 2 decades of running a Canadian foundation, I learned some things about philanthropy, about fundraising. And so my business is exactly that. We work with athletes and families to help them create their own foundations and brand and story and get it out into the world and amplify their influence, essentially. I had no idea I would end there. I actually thought there was no way to make a living in philanthropy. And my main goal in life was to make enough money so I can become a philanthropist myself, because you'll never meet a philanthropist who doesn't make money, right? So that was my only goal. But things have shifted. We're seeing the biggest transfer of wealth to women in the history of time. Women give differently. Gone are the days where you're just seeing like an old guy writing a check from an office to kids in a far off place. people really want to connect. We call it values aligned giving. When people really connect to what they're passionate about and they can give from that space, the ripples of impact are even greater than a check could ever be. And so that is what I get to be a conduit of after people start asking me, how do I start a foundation? What are the steps? How do I move through that? So when we're talking about faith and surrender and letting go, to me, that is an example that just happened. I have so many more examples of that when I took my hands off the wheel and I said, okay, universe, like you don't want it to go this way. You don't think I'm supposed to be in this career or that job. It just sort of found its way.
Yeah, that's great. I also want to just take a moment for your book, and I'm wondering if you can share with us, how does your book relate to this theme of letting it be easier?
Oh, it's the whole theme of the book. So it doesn't just relate to it, it speaks about it. It's called Pathways to Self, the Path to Purpose through the 9 steps of self-realization. So step 1 was self-awareness. That was last week, chapter 1. And chapter 2 this week that I'm talking about is self-trust. So to me, letting it be easier is about following the breadcrumbs and really taking your hands off the wheel and trusting, really trusting that it's all going as it should. Not as you want it to necessarily, but as it should. If I hunkered down on my old life and just said, like, this is the way it should be, I wouldn't be here in Costa Rica, living the life, doing my dream work, opening a retreat center. I wouldn't be doing any of that now if I didn't take my hands off the wheel. And so
Yeah.
I get to be the proof. But when I was in that dark night of the soul, I needed the proof and I relied on the people to pull me out of there. And I'm blessed to have a lot of strong and amazing men and women. Like I have brothers, they're literally the best. So, blessings.
Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Thank you.
So excited for your book to come out. When does it come out?
August 18th. Yeah.
August
So it's the
18th.
final 2 months of telling the world.
So exciting.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Cora, you do retreats in Costa Rica sometimes?
Yes, I led one 2 Aprils ago in Costa Rica. I love it. Dana, that's so awesome that you live there. What a magical place. And also, my almost 4-year-old son's birthday is August 18th. So it feels like there's extra good vibes. Yeah, definitely. Let's talk.
Letting it be easier, Cora. I feel like this is so much of your path, and how you help others is getting out of our own way, that process.
Before this call, I think I would have said one thing, and now listening to all of you, it feels like I have just so much more awareness around the different areas of my life where I'm letting it be easier or could let it be easier. For me personally, I let it be easier when I stopped trying to figure things out,
Yeah.
like in my head. So, I'm thinking what came up for me really powerfully, Amanda, thank you for leading us in the most heartfelt, vulnerable, authentic way. I'm still emotional. For me, it feels like not trying to figure out my relationship to Nico, to my son's dad, but really being more in acceptance of it. And as I know Michelle was saying, being, and maybe someone else, but being really present and embodied in the reality of it, like really being fully here, even when it's very uncomfortable and painful, and not escaping into my head, into the what should I do? What is the right thing? I don't know. What's his diagnosis? I love that one. Let me just diagnose him in my head for a while, or with Chat GPT or Claude. And I feel like letting it be easy, although it's not easy, feeling our feelings isn't always easy, but the resistance to it is harder. So I know a huge part of my path has been, gosh, I'm going to do the trash bag thing, Claudia. Wow, I love that one. I mean, I love the sound of it. I could really use it because a huge part of my journey with letting it be easier is letting the actual emotions come through, like being honest enough with myself to know how I'm actually feeling. I was a people pleaser for years. I didn't even know how I was actually feeling.
Yeah.
So I've never put this together, but I feel like letting it be easier is letting it be real. and showing up embodied and meeting the pain and the not knowing and not running from it or avoiding it, but moving through it.
Yeah, and I'm curious, what's the discernment between, and this is my personal curiosity, so I imagine it might be for others. What is the discernment for you between I'm feeling it, I'm being real with it, I'm being embodied in it, I'm being present with it, and not dropping down into it for too long, where you're kind of exacerbating it or manifesting it more, right? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes. And someone said to me one time that when we feel an emotion fully, it releases in 90 seconds or less. So that's my check in. If I'm in it for longer than that, most likely I'm in the story about the emotion and I'm rerunning it. And I'm a Leo, I'm double Leo. I'm really dramatic sometimes. And I'm an actor. So I'm like, oh, the pain, the pain. There's a comfort weirdly in that. So I just have to it takes self honesty too. Also, for me to discern when has it released, it's usually 90 seconds or less. And also focusing more on the sound rather than all the words, sound and movement to allow it to move.
Yeah, that's great. When you have that moment where something's triggering, you're in the face of something, and then maybe you feel that thing repeating itself again, that word, that sentence, that trigger, the image of it happening. Oh, that moment when this happened, and you're replaying it, sort of like an emotional or mental masturbation. Is that part of our processing of it and it needs to happen? Or is it just us kind of being addicted to it?
Yeah, that's the question that only we know through deep self honesty. Is
Yeah,
this coming up again because I need to readdress it and be in it again? Sorry for the background noise. Or is it
we get
coming?
it.
He's happy. It's good. Or is it coming up because it's like I am addicted to? I even noticed in breath work,
Yeah,
I was going to the things I'm annoyed about with my partner, and I was like, why am I doing that? It's like, I think it's a little self sabotage, a distraction, familiarity. And I was
sure.
able to see that and then come back to the beauty of the present and the breath. So that
Yeah.
was what just happened.
Right. Noticing it with neutrality and just going, oh, isn't that interesting? Isn't that fascinating that I'm returning to that kind of thing? It's quotes safe to think about that thing that I know how I feel when I think about that thing. Yeah. Oh, I love digging into all of this. Anything else, Cora, that you want to share?
The only other thing that really rocked my world was my mentor. Her name's Gazale Lowe. She's Bondi Guru on Instagram. She's amazing. I'm in a mentoring group. She said, life for everyone is 50-50. 50% pleasure, 50% pain, 50% births, 50% deaths, 50% wins, 50% losses. No one, no matter how rich, how famous, how beautiful, how whatever, escapes that. And it blew my mind because then she pointed out it's how we relate to it. It's how we relate to the 50% that sucks, just to be fully
Yeah.
direct.
Yeah.
And I love that because I think that's a good example of how can we let it be easy by accepting 50% is going to be hard
Mm-hmm.
AF. And
Mm-hmm.
how we relate to that is going to make all the difference.
That's great. Yeah. Yes. Oh, thank you so much. And so, Claudia, where does it feel a little sticky, and what are you doing with that?
A little bit of everybody's sharing, really. This year I'm turning 60, so I made a lot of decisions in my life based on how much I did, thank you, and how much I really want to do. And I think for me, trusting my body and my rhythm and the intelligence of the unfolding is the title of my chapter right now. And that's what I'm doing. I'm not forcing, I'm not chasing the next mountain. I'm tapering down. I'm very intentional with my clients. I'm not hungry for quantity because my time is the most valuable thing that I can give to someone. So I'm being very intentional about who I'm sharing my time with. And I've been an empty nester for a period of time. I adore my kids, and they're right now in Miami having a sister weekend because they have this unbelievable bond. And I am in a place where I am open to receive. And I think I have come to the understanding that the uncertainty is an invitation. It's not something that scares me. It's an invitation to get curious, to, okay, I don't know what's going to happen. Bring it on. Let's see. Let's receive. Let's don't be attached to the result. Because at the end of the day, I truly believe that we're not living the life that we want because we're feeding the life that we don't want. And we do this unconsciously every single day. So when you take a step back and you start seeing, okay, wait a minute, what are these signs? What are these clues that the universe is sending to me? Then you really get curious. Then you really pause. You give yourself grace. And in this chapter of my life, I'm mothering myself. I'm calling the Divine Mother. I am midwifing myself to an extent. And I'm allowing that to show me different ways, different paths. Easy for me is not doing less, it's not fighting and allowing that result to come to my life. And I'm enjoying it. I relate to a lot of you in a lot of ways. The empty nester part, Michelle and I share, but I also can put myself in Anna's shoes. I was a single mom. I had those moments that I needed the space to breathe. Oh my God. But we are so conditioned to be certain way. The downloading from our lineage is so freaking strong that in order to be a good girl, we have to be A, B, and C. And if not, then we have that little voice in our head telling us, well, I guess you're not that good of a girl. When we pause and say, wait a minute, stop with me. I'm not following that crap. Because when I was a kid, I didn't feel seen and I didn't feel loved. So why would I want to pass that on to my kids? You want something different for them. That was the main reason why I wrote my book. That's the main reason why I work mainly with moms, because I want to change that narrative. I want them to understand that, okay, you did it this way up to here, but how did it work? Were you happy? Do you feel fulfilled? Do you feel stuck? Maybe you have outgrown your situation when maybe that need for wanting more is not being selfish, is not being self centered. It's just that you're meant for more, actually. So let's find out what that is. And I totally understand what you say, Amanda, because I used to cry every time I would drop my kids to their dad until one day he saw me. And I shared that story with Siri a long time ago. He saw me in the corner because I couldn't keep on driving and I parked and I started crying. And when he came to the car, he passed away already, but we managed to have an incredible relationship until he passed. And actually, I was in charge of disconnecting him because he got a stroke and he had to be disconnected. And my daughters gave me the power to do it because they didn't want to do it, of course.
Yeah.
But when he came to the car and knocked on my window and offered me his hand and he said, I'm sorry, I said to him, I'm sorry too. And I had not done anything to him. He cheated on me. He broke the marriage. But acknowledging my part in it, because I didn't see the red flags. I choose not to see the red flags. The red flags were there. But the happy family for me, the ideal family for me was overriding everything that I was seeing. And me going to him and say, I'm sorry, I didn't see your demons. So that's my responsibility. And we get to do this together. We get to create this incredible life for our children. And when he passed, my kids went on stage because we did a celebration of life that I paid for. And my kids went on the stage and it says, my parents divorced when I was 5 years old. Because I got divorced with three kids under 5, 11, 2, and 5. But we never stopped being a family. And that was the biggest gift I could give to them. There was no competition, there was no guilt. Guilt is a really, really bad advisor. And we have the choice to live this life, like Dana said, with trust or with fear. And if we live with fear, we're probably going to get to the same finish line. Okay, because we're going to manipulate, we're going to fight, we're going to try to shrink to fit, we're going to do whatever it is to get there. But once you get there, you're going to still be in fear. But when you trust, when you have faith, when you allow it, maybe it's going to take you a little longer, but you're going to get to that finish line. And the feeling is going to be very different. So that's how I live my life now. It's not that I don't have urgency, because when something matters to me, but I'm living it on purpose. Right now, we're talking about giving back. I always give back because that's my high. I love it. I have actually a thing that every day I have to pay forward every single day. Like the way I brush my teeth, I gotta pay forward every single day. I have created a nonprofit for women that are single or are planning to be single. Why? Because if you read my book, you know that when I got divorced, he punished me for 2 years. I didn't have money to feed my children. I had to go to a consignment store and sell my expensive purses and then go next door to the grocery store and buy groceries. That's all I had. My mom sent me a Dolce Gabbana suit and told me, go get a job. So I knew I had to do it on my own. And I choose to leave that anger and that frustration outside home and enjoy my kids and give my kids the best I could with the tools that I have. Now I'm in a better place in my life. So now I can create a nonprofit where I can give resources to all these women that maybe they cannot afford a coach. Maybe they don't know how to fill up an application. Maybe they don't have an outfit to wear to that job interview. So I team up with a couple of my friends and they're donating clothes. So if a single mom comes in with 3 kids like I was and say, you know what? I don't know what to do. I don't know how to do my taxes. I don't know how to open a bank account. I don't know how to fill up the W-2 form or whatever. I'm going to have people there. I'm going to have a pro bono lawyer that is going to give him some guidance. And then I'm going to give you an outfit so you can go to get that job and come back home to yourself.
I love it.
So it's all about perception. And when you are in the hole, you don't see it. So allow yourself to step out of the hole. Give yourself grace. Wait for the sand in the bottle to settle so you can have clarity. And then you start seeing things under a different lens. So this is my moment in my life right now. I'm letting it be by doing it easier. Because for me, no longer working hard brings my value higher. I already know my value. I stopped giving discounts a long time ago. So no, thank you. I know who I am. I like who I am. I enjoy who I am. And I am in this place in my life that I'm not fighting anymore. Seriously, I went to the extent not allow my husband to help me because in my head, that was taking credit for what I did as a single mom. So no, you can't help me. And now it's like, you know what? People can think whatever they want to. I know who I was as a single mom. I know what I created. And my kids know it because I see the ripple effect. I did my job.
Yeah.
So I'm reaping what I'm sowing now and I'm enjoying myself. And this is my time to pay forward and just to be in my glory and divine mother myself and enjoy and make my little maiden proud. That's where I am right now.
Oh.
I have to jump in really quickly
Yes.
because Claudia is one of my dearest friends on the planet. We don't get enough time to connect. She said something that just really pulled at my heartstrings, and it ties it all together, which is whether you choose the fear path or you allow yourself to surrender to what's happening and feel something different as you go through this, you're going to get to the same place. It's choosing how you want to feel when you do it. And the emotion that keeps coming up or the destination that keeps coming up is let it be easy, but let it be peaceful.
Yeah.
And if peaceful means macaroni and cheese on a Friday night because you need some comfort, let it be macaroni and cheese on a Friday
Have
night.
pizza for breakfast.
Have
Who
the
gives a fuck?
pizza. If it means you can't do that podcast episode because there's nothing coming, but you need to talk to that girlfriend on the other side of the country because I'm East Coast and she's West Coast, make the phone call.
Yeah.
Connect. Do the thing that brings peace. And I think you asked me a question I never answered, and Claudia did it so brilliantly. I'm a former executive. I had achieved a lot in that career. And the really wonderful place of being where I am now is not needing to validate myself through that level of achievement to feel at peace or at home in my heart. I couldn't do it any other way. I needed the next ring on the ladder before in order to feel okay.
Yeah.
And now to be in this place of surrender. Let it be easy.
Which is not the same as giving up.
Giving up. It is
Right.
not.
That's
It's
right.
totally different. And sometimes we feel that because we're not being productive, we're not being who we're supposed to be.
Thank
And
you.
5 years ago, I called Michelle because I didn't know if I wanted to stay married. Because I was like the next thing, the next thing, the next thing. And I didn't know why I still didn't feel fulfilled until I said, you know what? F it. I am not going to play this game anymore. It doesn't serve me. It doesn't serve my children. It doesn't serve my husband. My husband is not responsible for my happiness.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need to blame him for my unhappiness.
Mm-hmm.
I
That's
am
good.
responsible for my happiness. I am responsible for my life. He's
Mm-hmm.
sharing this journey. 1 + 1 is not 2, it's 11. We're both in this journey. He gets to mess up and I get to mess up too. But we get to hold space for each other. And that's where we are right now. And we find different ways that help us come back home
Yeah.
without losing ourselves.
I cannot wait to listen back to this wisdom and soak it in. Thank you so much for each of your hearts. Thank you so much for your truth. Thank you so much for your lived experiences. And thank you so much for the service that you do in the world for men and for women and for children. It's incredible. This is an incredible, incredible, incredible group of women. I'm so grateful to each of you for the work you do in the world and for how you show up and for your honesty. So you may know this poem very well. The Journey, Mary Oliver. One day you finally knew what you had to do and began, though the voices around you kept shouting their bad advice. Though the whole house began to tremble and you felt the old tug at your ankles, mend my life, each voice cried, but you didn't stop. You knew what you had to do. Though the wind pried with its stiff fingers at the very foundations, though their melancholy was terrible, it was already late enough and a wild night and the road full of fallen branches and stones. But little by little, as you left their voices behind, the stars began to burn through the sheets of clouds, and there was a new voice which you slowly recognized as your own that kept you company as you strode deeper and deeper into the world, determined to do the only thing you could do, determined to save the only life you could save. I do want to just share that I have a 1st and 2nd degree Reiki certification retreat. If you're interested in simultaneously filling your cup whilst serving and helping others, that's what this Reiki is. We get to fill our cups, fill our energy, receive, be a channel for ourselves first and foremost, and then through that being filled up, being able to serve and create space, soft, healing, wonderful, loving space, life force energy space for others, whether it's someone that we're helping to transition. I did this with my grandfather with Reiki, helped him transition, whether it's bringing a new life into the world, whether it's honoring our food. This is what I've been teaching for over 24 years and practicing for over 30 years. So we're going to do it in my home. And if you know someone that would like this, especially caretakers, I really want caretakers to have this first aid kit in their hands. So that's available to you. Of course, this breath work I can do online with you or with groups that you have. We can do it in person, all the ways we can do this breathwork Reiki experience. If you liked this, let's go for a journey. Let's talk about it. I love you guys. Thank you again for your hearts and souls. You're such incredible women. I know that this is going to be so inspiring. It's such medicine. It's going to create such ripple effects. It already has in the world. So you've done that. Way to go. Listener, thank you for coming on this journey. I will have all of these women tagged, their Instagrams. Feel free to reach out to them if you're interested in talking to them. If you want to know more about what they do or who they are, reach out. I love you guys. Keep expanding your capacity to feel good, one breath at a time.
And if today's conversation stirred something in you, here are a few ways we can go deeper together. So the Authentic Creative Podcast, where you are now, make sure that you're subscribed so you don't miss more conversations like this. And if you loved this one, share it with a friend who needs to hear it. You can explore upcoming retreats, link in the show notes, or go onto Instagram at Siri Burke Thornton. One-on-one work for private Reiki, breathwork, Akashic sessions where we can go right into your unique medicine, you can connect with me directly. Reach out to me once again. Thank you for being here, for listening, for expanding your capacity to feel good alongside me. I'm sending you love, and I can't wait to connect again soon. Loving you.